My name is David and I'm 28 years old. I was dating a 25 years old woman named Serena, who became my ex-wife. I worked as a school teacher and she was the sister of one of my colleagues. The two of us met at a prom night party at school where she came along with her sister who was also a colleague of mine. A dance segment was held at the party, and on withdrawal of the chits, two random names were chosen to be the two people who were chosen to dance on the stage. My turn came up and I paired up with Serena, and we danced together. Prior to that, I was not aware of her. She was a very interesting girl who worked in a travel agency. After getting to know one another, we exchanged phone numbers and became friends. Due to the fact that I was a very busy man, I didn't have much time to get to know people, even my own relatives. It also happened that she sometimes came to our school with her sister on a few occasions, so we had a chance to talk to each other. At first, we talked casually like hi and hello. However, once a concert was announced and I, because of my neighbor, was able to get a ticket from him as he was the organizer, I wasn't sure who would be interested in coming with me. Therefore, I invited her along with me. I don't even have a lot of friends. The reason I liked her was that she was not like other girls. She always tried to understand my humor even when I did not say it fully. The concert was great and we had a lot of fun. At the end, we had some drinks. I can't remember what happened after that. I think that's because it was one of my weaknesses that I couldn't remember anything after drinking. I awoke the next morning in my bed, but I had no memory of how I got there. I heard a noise in the kitchen. I was surprised to see that it was Serena who had already woken up and was making coffee for me in the kitchen. I apologized to her and asked what had happened. There was no need to worry about it, she said. According to her, I was not in the position to drive, so she drove me home and stayed at my house because it was too late to go out. Then I thanked her for her help. Moreover, it was not the same as before when I was feeling a spark after spending a night with her. I wasn't feeling a spark like I did before. We started interacting after that and enjoyed being together like close friends. We discussed a variety of topics and even hung out a lot on the weekends. Due to the fact that I am a single individual and did not have any family when I met her, I felt as though I had met my family. This is because she always made me happy and made meals for me. However, with the passage of time, we became much closer to each other. It was one of those days when we decided to meet, but she did not show up after we agreed on the location. I called her a number of times, but she did not answer. I was worried about her. I called her again in the middle of the night. She picked up and said that she was not feeling well right now and would meet you in a few days. It was a very worrying situation for me at that time. After 8 days, she called me and said, "I am not okay, please come." She sent me the location and was able to reach them. My life changed in a very unexpected way as a result of something that happened. As she waited in a restaurant for me, I asked her what had happened. With all her might, she sat on her knees and told me that she meant to get married. As I stood in front of her, I was in awe. I also felt a deep sense of loyalty towards her, so I accepted her proposal without hesitation. I got married to the love of my life. In my opinion, it could be said that it would be one of the happiest days of my life, but I was wrong. I was unaware that the love of my life, Serena, would commit such a naughty act in the name of love. After a few days, I was at work, and when I returned home, Serena told me that I had a letter. I received the letter and opened it. It was about the confirmation of approval of my life insurance policy. Additionally, I told her that I had taken up a life insurance policy for myself. It was quite interesting for her, and she began asking me a number of questions about it, including how much it cost. My answer to her was that it was about a $5 million insurance policy. As a well-prepared person, I believe that insurance is a necessity, and I told her that I was planning to take out insurance for our children, but we must deliver first. My face started to crack up, and I started laughing. Also, she was happy with what I had done because it was for the safety of our family. The marriage was progressing very well, and I was very thankful to God for being able to have a wife who is very cooperative and caring for me. But the problem that I was facing was that I was suffering from asthma and always had an asthma inhaler along with me. The disease was with me from childhood onwards and was getting worse as the years went by. So she always took care of me. Whenever I had an asthma attack that lasted for a long time, she would always stay with me all night long. I found her to be very caring and considerate. There was a time when I fell ill with this and was admitted to the hospital in the middle of the night. There was Sarina, who was always with me at the time, and she was very worried about me, and it was a sudden attack, but after treatment for a night, I recovered and was discharged from the hospital. As soon as we got back home, we went to bed. I was asked about the situation by Sarina, but I told her that I was used to it because a severe attack came in similar manner previously. My health was fine after the treatment, however, I was not worried about it. There was no problem with me. I was able to go to the school and come home as before. My health started to deteriorate after a few days, so I had to come back home early in the morning. I can remember that it is about 11 o'clock in the morning when it happened. There were several times when I knocked on the door, but Sarina did not open it. I knocked again, but she did not answer. At first, I thought she wasn't at home because she did not answer the door. As I looked at the wall of my house, I saw a man climbing out of the side of it. In fact, my house was situated at the corner of the street, so I was able to watch a person climbing down from the back side of the wall and running away from me. I yelled out, "Who is this?" and he ran. I chased him, but I was not able to catch him because I had a bag in my hand, and the matter of fact was that he was much faster than me. When I went back to the door, Sarina had already opened it, and I asked her where she was while I was knocking on the door. Her response was that she was sleeping. She asked me why I came out of breath and also that I have experiencing asthma attacks, so I opened up my bag and looked for the inhaler, but I did not find it there. She bought me an inhaler from her cupboard and I used it, and I felt better after a few minutes. My question was, where did she get the inhaler from? She said she bought it as a spare one. Having said that, I pointed out a man who looked like a thief was jumping out from the back wall of the house. According to her, there was no one who came into the house at all. I was given a glass of water by her. As soon as I drank it, I checked the entire house to make sure it was safe. There was a cup of coffee in my bedroom that was half full, and the other one was half empty. I picked up the one of the cup, and it was still hot when I held it up. It seems like Sarina was in the house with someone else at the time. Then I asked her about the cups, and she told me that one of her friends had come over to the house about an hour ago. Then I replied, "So how it is that this cup is still hot after all this time?" In a state of astonishment, she was speechless. "It doesn't feel hot," she said. "You came home after a run, so you feel hot because you chased the thief." I found her answer to be strange, so I held her to forget it, and I went to the bathroom, where I found something that made me suspicious of her. In the bathroom, I found traces of used cigarettes in the commode, and portions of the wall surrounding the shower area were still covered with water. Despite this, Sarina was not wet and she was just taking a nap at that time. There was a lot of confusion in my mind about what I found in the washroom and what she said to me, due to the fact that according to the facts, her statement was not valid. There was no doubt in my mind that she was lying to me. I didn't ask her a question because I could tell that she was telling a lie by her facial expressions. I decided to start keeping an eye on her. In one instance, I took her phone in order to make a call to someone, since my cell phone wasn't working, and found in the dial history the number of the company from which I bought my life insurance. I thought that it was strange because I did not give her the number of insurance agent that I was dealing with. I scrolled down further on her phone and I found she was getting details of the insurance policies, such as how she could claim the amount and how long it would take for her to be able to claim the insurance money. The agent explained everything to her in detail. There was a question in my mind that caused me to wonder why she was getting so many details about the insurance. Although I ignored that because I knew she must be cautious about it. But by reading her messages, I felt that she was more happy or was in a hurry to get the money after I sent them. I scrolled down her cell phone and did not find anything else but would indicate that she was having an affair. But I was sure that she had a partner. After using the inhaler that she gave me on the same night, I fell asleep after about half an hour of using it. After that, I felt I was suffocating and sweat was coming out of my entire body, and I felt ill. I didn't see Serena in the room and I called her several times, but she did not answer. It was much worse than I was able to walk on my own. I shouted so badly that she did not even come. I tried to call the ambulance on my mobile phone. I felt like I was going to die because of it. I went into a state of unconsciousness but was able to sense and hear what was happening. Even though my eyes were not properly closed, I was able to see Serena suddenly entering the room and watch me for a few minutes without coming to me to help me. It's hard for me to remember what happened after that. As soon as my eyes opened, I found myself in the hospital. From the glass window, I saw Serena looking angry or in tension. She was talking on the cell phone instead of staying with me, as she had a call that she had to take. I was told that the inhaler I had been using was expired by the doctor, a matter of moments after he came to my side. As it turned out, I was just about to die at the last minute, and the ambulance arrived just in time to take me to the hospital, where I was treated for my condition. Upon asking the doctor if my wife was aware of this, he replied that she had not asked me about you. You do not need to tell her anything about it. It was my mistake that I took the wrong medication. I'm sorry for my mistake. Suddenly Serena came. She looked nervous, and I couldn't find any earthly pain for me. I was observing everything. After being discharged from the hospital after a week, I started thinking about how it happened after the accident. Serena wasn't facing me like her crime caught that she committed. I pretended to be sleeping one night, but I wasn't. After Serena fell asleep, I checked her phone and found a chat with her affair partner about my death and her claim for the money. It was already clear to me that she was going to commit some crimes, and I had a good idea of what she was planning to do. After she woke up, I didn't sleep for the whole night, so I sat on the couch in my bedroom all night long. After she woke, I threw the glass towards her in anger, which hit the top of her head and caused her to bleed. After that, I said, I didn't think I could be treated like this by you. For the sake of my insurance money, you bloody bitch tried to kill me. After a while, she started weeping and explaining to me what was happening. I replied, in my opinion, it is useless, as I am aware of every aspect of your crime and do not try to hide any more of them. My immediate response was to lock the door and call the police, who came to the scene and took my statement on the spot. The police also caught her affair partner after a few days, but they did not sentence them to murder for over 10 years. Subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories in the future.